Hi, Pierce. Since you're here, the first video really welcomed you to the course, told you about my theories and why I teach the way I did. But I figured it'd be best to give a good navigational guide to you so you can navigate the course, see how things are laid out, how it functions, and all the type of pieces. So let's jump into it. This is Business Data Analytics. This is the exact same layout that every one of my courses in Business and Data Analytics follows. No matter if you're a 4, 8, 16-week course, I maintain from semester to semester the same organization and layout so that it is easy for students to navigate without spending any of that mental load and mental effort on it. So when you first get into my course, the students will see a course sticky note. The course sticky note is core information the students need, the primary thing the students have chosen to care about. They get an introduction to this from me, which is my face, my video, just like this one. It always gives a base overview of the due dates that are going to be in the course, laid out for 16, 8, and 4, so that I can maintain that in each single class without having to recreate. A single pieces of the most important data, things like the due dates, the required textbooks, where to read the assignments, the layout of the course. And then at the very bottom, for whatever course they're functionally in, they are given a specific due dates and time frame, week starts for their assignments here. So like module 1 beginning on this class 6-1, it is due on 6-5. You have 7 working days to accomplish module 1. Now they are starting for, I teach my students that they work on a 5-day schedule, Monday through Friday. Everything is due on Fridays at 5 p.m. But they're allowed to begin the work at any time, so they can work ahead. So really their work week begins on Saturday, Sunday, then they have the 5 work days. And that takes a little bit for them to come to grips with, but we have that conversation throughout the semester. Now, after the sticky post, the students have a start here where they're told to begin here, that this is the actual course materials, expectations, layouts. Inside the begin here, everything reads from top to bottom. They will get an introduction from me, again, a video as well as a write-up. The videos all have their transcripts applied to them, so e-readers, people with learning disabilities can't have them happen or can't see them. Their due dates are standardized. They'll get the basic layout of the begin here with inside this and a basic layout of the course. So this is really the highest level without much depth. And then as you go into it, you will have your introduction about who your professor is, contact information, and then a video introduction of who I am, my background, all the kinds of pieces. You'll be introduced to what the simple syllabus actually is and says for the course before you're taken to the simple syllabus. And I do use the basic simple syllabus for TCC. I don't add any sections. I don't take away any sections. All my assignments are aligned to the course calendar. So inside the simple syllabus, the students should be able to see the assignment and the due date live updated as needed. The grading for how I grade is, of course, in here. It's a 2 business days. That is 2 business days. So if it's due on a Friday, they won't get grades back to the following Wednesday. So that is, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 5-day turnaround, but a 2 business day turnaround. We really focus on treating this as much of a business environment, a real world functioning office, to get the students comfortable with existing inside of that. We have the late attendance and makeup work policy. We don't accept any late work in here. The syllabus attachment for TCC is there. I do link them directly to the academic calendars so that they can do those types of pieces. We have a breakdown of the course required software, how to get it, where to get it. And of course, each of my sections comes with a video instruction. We use McGraw-Hill for all my text. So the text is just an ebook, not a SmartBook, not a working assignment, not a AI driven anything. It's an old school textbook because I'm trying to teach my students to digest and delve into data, which means they need to take a standardized piece and break into it themselves. That's note taking, that's learning at objectives. That is a little bit older school methods that we used to do. I even break my students down and tell them how much the course load is going to be, that it's 96 hours according to state statutes and federal statutes. I give them, again, a tentative course schedule where I tell them more in depth. In module 1, these are the chapters we'll be focusing on. I tell them how many hours each section will likely take. I break down how many hours they'll likely spend for each module. I break it into their module assignments, and I give them even more detail, breaking down what is expected inside of each assignment, how they're graded, why we do it, and again, my beautiful face on each piece. We talked about accountability and professionalism. This was something I added in that's not in my syllabus. It's just here in my course design, and that is talking about students are not customers. This was something I had multiple students tell me. The customer of a higher education is society. The students are the products being created from the factory that is the institution. So when a student tells you that they are the product or the customer and that their voice matters because they're paying, they're not. Society has paid far more than any student tuition will ever pay. Society is your client. The students are the product being created, and I make sure that they understand that at the very beginning in the nicest way I could possibly do it, but that their expectations of earning a high grade is based on their achievement, not their desire or their attempt. I do have automatic course failures. We cover all that. If they're adults, they have to withdraw themselves, grade disputes, technical pieces, mental health, and then at the very end of my first assignment, they do take a syllabus exam. And that breaks it down into everything in this Begin Here module, everything on the simple syllabus. 10 questions, comes out of a pool of several hundred different questions. Basically just ask, did you read it? Do you understand it? Do you agree to it? Now, after they get done with the Begin Here, they immediately jump into their first module. And the modules are labeled 1 through 8. They have a description and the due dates written as the module themselves. They will not see their final projects module until the final week, and they're told that in advance in the announcements. But inside each module, the very first module is robust. They have a video instruction with a write-up, what this module is, what it covers, how it's expected to flow, why we do things. Then after that, they get into the actual materials. So they go through instruction, introduction, here's the materials, here's the lectures. Explanation of how the textbooks work, here's their actual textbooks. Explanation of the assignments, like the case study and the discussions, their actual case study and discussion assignment. And again, more videos, more write-ups, more hands-on, broken down to be read from top to bottom and bullet pointed, so that students can reference it back and forth over and over again. Inside here, we have breakdowns of what their grades, how they get graded, and then inside the announcements, I actually will give in week 2 an announcement of how the case studies are graded in their full-on rubric. That comes in after I grade the first rubric, which I grade very soft because I haven't experienced it before. I do use plagiarism detectors. We do a Power BI assignment, and this is explained to them. And the Power BI assignment is a very low stakes assignment. It is, you get the 10 points if you turn in something that is meeting the basic requirements, which is turning in a PBIX file. But the video actually is a walkthrough by Alex the Analyst, which is just a tremendously great resource. If you want to learn Power BI, I strongly suggest them. And so they follow along with him, create a basic dashboard, low stakes. And at the end of the semester, they take a Capstone module assignment, which is still a walkthrough video, but they have to go back and reference their previous walkthroughs to create a few additional pieces to make it more robust. Then they have their exams. The exams are proctored. They are high stakes. They are told how to do them. Once they start it, it's 25 questions, 25 points, timed, limited, and proctored. And that's, again, to get them prepped for taking the big assignment, which is their capstone at the end of the semester. And then in certain assignments or certain modules, I give the opportunity that's not told to them of a bonus point. So modules 1, 3, 7, and 8, I think, have them, and the capstone. These are the only bonus point opportunities I give to the students, and to accomplish them, they have to be pretty in-depth. They have to answer questions and answer questions in specifics on how the course can be made better and about themselves. How many hours did they study? How much focus did they do? What other distractions did they had during the week doing this module that made them limited? So it's a chance for them to reflect on the class that gives me data analysis that I can build a better course, and a chance for them to reflect on themselves as a student so that they can become a better student in the second, third, fourth modules going forward. So there are some bonus points opportunities, but the students don't see them until they get into the modules. At the very end of the semester, and you will see that after module 1, all those instructional videos drop down to next to nothing. Then they just go into the actual assignments with the introduction of the assignments and the videos that go along with those particular assignments. End of the semester, we have capstone. The students don't see until the final week. Capstone project, exam, and then their final course reflection, as well as they're given their course feedback survey. Day 1 of class, I just open it up and I remind them at the end. Now, all of these modules are also tied to my announcements. Module 1, week 1 module gives you an announcement of the due dates, what modules we'll be working on, how things are done. that goes out on the very first day with video walkthrough, immediate action items, my guardrails for success, tips for week 1, what we'll be covering, and all the due dates. Every one of my announcements, so again, my students don't have to think very hard about the layout, follow the exact same pattern. So they see the same layout with different information every single module. So the students get very comfortable after about module 2 with how the class functions, what they're looking for in those pieces. The discussions are where we do our case studies, but they're not there. Otherwise, there's no discussion board past that. It's case studies, and that gives us our student-to-student interaction and our student-to-professor interaction. The grade book is laid out in such a way where I have their overall grade, but it is not shown to them. And that's done intentionally. They have their pacing schedule, they're given their point values, they're showed what they earned, and if they want to know what their grade is currently, they must do the work to figure out exactly how that grade is. I do not allow in course messaging. I require them to use email. Again, that's done to mimic the real world. While the real world has Teams and those types of programs, TCC doesn't really utilize them much. And the in-course messaging causes problems where things get lost. So the students are required, if they want to meet with me, to send an email, request a meeting, set a time, set a meeting time, and show up to that time. And that is done via live Zoom and via recorded Zoom so that we can reflect, answer back, and they can see the transcript of it. I don't use groups or any of that kind of fun stuff, but that is basically how my course functions. My rubrics for this class are pretty restrictive. I'll see if I can pull my grade book up here. So I've been working on several projects, so you're gonna have to bear with me. This is a less than professional video because I'm doing it for you guys instead of doing it for my students. Here we go. So for grading my students, I use a calculator that I created so that every student is graded the exact same. For the case studies, we pull in the data analysis from the class, the grade level, the reading level, the writing levels. We look at how many responses. Then that all gets fed into here. So if a student's accomplished everything, they did the word count, they submitted everything correctly, they did their in-text citations, post-text, they did their peer reviews, and they did their work, for each section in different levels. I get a specific breakdown that I hand off to my students so they see their earned grades. This rubric is provided to them. The average student will see the 70% on any assignment doing average work. Above and beyond goes above that. So every student is graded the exact way in a verifiable manner with no real cognitive overload on me, speeding up grading and making it very clear where my students failed, because they can come in here and say, okay, part 1 Utopia, I was missing. I didn't do so great on it, so I got 0 points. Part 2, the field audit, I was proficient, but didn't really do so great. So on those pieces, the students can come in and say, oh, these are the areas that I didn't do great on. This is my grade. This is where I can achieve higher. It's a great calculator. Built this over several years. That's how I grade all my students' work to maintain fairness and equity inside my classrooms. And that's fed to them and given to them up front so that they know how they're grading. Hi guys, welcome to my course. Check out the theories on why I do it this way. I hope you enjoy it. Everything should be in here. Everything from the orientation is our begin here, and our sticky post, the introduction of who I am, is inside the begin here. The simple syllabus is inside there. There are directions and announcements for content area that provide a start to the course. The very first announcement that goes out on week 1 is a breakdown of what your expectations, how to start, where to begin, what's due. And then everything's aligned to the calendar, everything's aligned to the grade book, both combined and piece together. And every course matches all of those together. And then I believe let's look at the institutional tools. My accessibility report should be pretty high. This course just got redesigned, so I might be missing a few pieces. Accessibility report is 97%. I'll go in and fix a few more of these as we move through the semester, but I try to maintain equity in all my classes so all students are treated fairly no matter what. And if I can get the equity score up higher, I always try to be, but 97% or above is pretty daggone good. All right, guys, that should give you the ability to grade my course, see everything. Any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. Otherwise, jump in, enjoy it, do whatever you want. Send me some critiques. Bye, guys. Stop it.